I just want to explain to people some things that I wish I knew when I started braiding. I watched a lot of videos to learn how to braid, and none of them really told me this tip, but a lot of people think when they're braiding the hair, they have to be holding on to all three pieces at one time. And that's not the case. That's actually where it's probably messing you up at. As you braid, you want to detangle as you braid. See how I'm holding two pieces in one hand, and then this hand is free, and I have a piece that's not being held. That's because I'm using this hand to detangle. So I do a twist or two, and then I detangle. I let go of one, and I run my hands all the way to the end to make sure the rest of the hair is not tangled, because you're not holding that hair. You're holding the hair that's close to the scalp, which would make that hair tangle up if you're not constantly detangling it. So you can let go, pull your hand through to make sure there's no tangles or it doesn't spin together, and then keep braiding. You can always let go of one piece. I was never told that when I first started, and I thought it was a helpful tip where you don't have to hold all three pieces constantly. And once you get to the end, you can just finish out your braid. But holding it close to the scalp, of course, everyone tells you that. You want a tight grip, you want it close to the scalp. And as you braid, you're picking up more hair, you're going down. But you can leave one piece out of the three pieces. You can leave it by itself while you're holding the other two, and use that hand to detangle the end of the hair so it doesn't get all knotted, so you can have a nice clean braid. That's what really helped me figure out how to get cleaner braids. Now, my braids still aren't perfect. I'm still learning. This is just a tip that I know helped me out, and I haven't seen it in any videos that I watched when I was learning, so I figured I would let you guys know so it can help you out. You don't have to hold all three pieces constantly. You can let go as you're braiding, and you need to let go to detangle the hair at the end, because since you're braiding and holding it near the scalp, you're not holding it at the end, so you're not keeping it separated at the ends unless you're detangling it as you go. Also, another tip that was not really talked about when I was learning to braid. I can't recall someone specifically saying it is easier to braid on dry hair. Now you might ask, well, why would you braid on dry hair? You need to have the hair moisturized before you put it in braids. You need to make sure it's detangled and all that before you put it in braids. But that's what you take care of before you dry the hair. So you want to wash the hair, you want to deep condition it, put in all your moisturizers and all that, and then put in a heat protectant and blow dry the hair if you have to. Blow drying the hair will make it straighter and stretch the hair, so it's easier to braid. It's easier to braid stretched hair than it is to braid curly hair. And then you choose a product. Like today, I'm using the Shea Moisture Lock and Braid Butter. You get a product that's specifically for braiding, and then you would put that in the hair as you braid. So I put it around all the edges to make sure I got all the little baby hairs and fine hairs up. I keep some on my hand as I braid, just so I can add more when necessary. So you take a little piece. See, the hair isn't completely dry, and we did all the detangling and the moisturizing when we first washed and blow dried her hair. So it's a lot easier than soaking wet, slippery hair. I mean, it's a little slippery with the product you have in it, but it's not as bad as soaking wet hair. And then you just begin to braid. Okay, so as you guys can see, the Shea Moisture braiding butter that I'm using is not really keeping her braids super clean and not frizzy. So I don't know if I'm doing something wrong or if it's just this product, but her braids are super frizzy. Even like the ones that I just did, they're kind of frizzy, and I am braiding her hair dry for the first time, but I think even if you braid dry, it shouldn't be as frizzy as it is. So I'm thinking this might not be the best braiding butter to use, especially with dry hair. So yeah, I could be wrong, I could be doing this wrong, or I could be doing something wrong, but I'm just not a fan of this braiding butter. So I'm just gonna finish her braids and see how it turns out, and let you guys see the results and know what I think of it. Alright guys, so there is the final look. I just did this section back, I did this section to the side because it was split down the middle. I braided these, I split it right here, I braided these down and then continued, and then I just put a braid in these little sections here, put some beads in. So from the tips I told you earlier, it's definitely a lot easier to braid on dry hair. However, I find that her hair is a lot frizzier doing that when I first braid it. As you can see, it's like really frizzy. I used this lock and braid butter. I don't know if it was because the butter or what that her hair is so frizzy. Maybe I didn't prepare the hair well enough beforehand, like in the deep conditioning and drying section. Maybe I did not do that well enough, but as you can see, the braids are really frizzy, so I don't like that. I don't know if it's because of the product or not. I'm going to try this again and I'll let you guys know. I'm going to braid her hair dry, but that is a tip that I normally did not start out doing when I learned how to braid. Braiding the hair dry is a lot easier than wet. It's less slippery, you get better parts, and it's just, in my opinion, easier to braid dry. However, it came out frizzy. So I guess we will see what happens over the next couple of days, how frizzy it gets, or if it just stays this frizzy. And I might try a new product the next time I do it instead of the butter. But yeah, I hope these tips helped you guys. I just know from when I was first learning to braid, I constantly thought I had to hold all 3 sections. People did say, you know, hold it tight toward the scalp and only braid till the scalp, but I was like, well, how do I do that? The rest of the hair is getting all knotted, but you, like I showed you, you want to detangle it with your hand. You drop one of the pieces, you want to detangle it while you're braiding, and then pick that piece up and continue braiding. As long as you have a good grip at the scalp, it won't unravel, you won't mess up your place. Of course, I'm not a professional and I still have a lot of work to do on my braiding, but I think it came out a lot better than what I usually do when I braid. So yeah, I hope these tips helped you guys. I don't know if I recommend this lock and braid butter. I guess we will see. I might try it again and let you guys know definitively if I like it or not. Maybe I'll compare it with a different braid butter or braid gel. But yeah, if you guys like this video, give us a thumbs up. It really helps us out.
Hit the subscribe button.
Hit the subscribe button because that'll help us out, and we'd like you guys to follow us on our hair journey. We gotta fix your edges, girl.
And comment on this video if you like these tips and if you want more, and share this with all your buds out there.
Share it with all your buds, guys. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.